Welcome to Women's Sunday Autumn Goddess Services for September 5th, 2021. Our Zoom recording did not kick in for a couple of minutes, so we shall re-record this section. We asked everyone to turn their video off and mute their microphone, and get a piece of paper and pen for the Quan Yin quiz later. And get a small bowl of water to participate in the blessing with Priestess Yeshe, our guest speaker. And she is our guest speaker for today, Priestess Yeshe Matthews of the Mount Shasta Goddess Temple, and we shall introduce her more formally later. And our special in-person guest member, longtime supporter of the Museum of Woman and Goddess Temple, Dr. Mailuna has been a member of the Circle of Stars, contributing very generously for years, and she's come down this weekend to join us from her home and headquarters in Monterey as a vocal coach. She's come down to join us and be with us in person, so we're so glad to have her. She has a new book coming out, so we're very excited about that. Up-level your communication. And she spent a few minutes telling us all in circle about her new book. We're very anxious to see that. And we definitely want to be on her book tour, her Orange County location, for a book signing gala and party. So I'm your Sunday Services Center holder, and here I am trying to figure something out at the museum a couple of years ago, with Mata trying to help me out and Marcia looking peacefully on. Our theme today is compassion, and our goddess is Quan Yin. And we asked members to and other women to send in their Quan Yin altars so that we may share them. This beautiful altar is from Anna Dresden with her possum in the background. This is from Naya Newlight, her Quan Yin altar. This is from Mary Elmore, her beautiful Quan Yin altar. And this one is from Peggy Lewis. Oh, thank you, sisters, for that. We ask the women to speak their name and their mother's name and ground themselves in preparation for our sacred circle together. We spoke of our theme of compassion. We talked about how women typically have compassion for everyone but themselves. And we asked women to share how they might better be compassionate with themselves. So we join the conversation already in progress.
It's technology. I am faced with needing to know things technologically, and I have wonderful people helping me, and I've been willing to ask for help, but then I learn and I don't remember, and I lose compassion for myself for not having a brain that grasps things. And I do need more compassion, because otherwise I just spin, and the people who are helping me are very patient, and so I just have to let my brain do whatever it has to do to get where I'm going. So all in all, I'm quite lucky, but that's an area where I need compassion.
Ava. Mata. Yoo-hoo, Mata. We are loving that. Look at your beautiful altar behind you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Just this morning, believe it or not, just this morning, I heard a phrase, which was that we have let go or do not pay attention to pampering ourselves in the name of success. And Ava, I understand it's kind of like what you were saying as being a 3 and a successful person. But I thought, yeah, that's true. Where do we leave? Where do I let go of pampering in the name of success? Oh, I've got to get this done. I have to go here. I have to do that. Oh no, I don't have time for a nice, beautiful salt bath. I'm just going to take a quick shower and, eat and go to bed or something. So yes, yeah, it's if we stop and pamper ourselves, we will be contributing to our success nonetheless, because it's a holistic effort in energetics.
Right.
And I wanted to say to Anna, if I may, or to anyone who feels that they're not grasping technology, as the babies and the younger ones, younger than us, me and us, each generation that is younger has an innate ability to grasp the technology that has come through our evolution. So if you think it's difficult, just part of it is a physical thing, but it isn't something that cannot be like overcome or becoming or in evolving for yourself. So just relax. Let it be what it is.
Relaxing is the key, isn't it? Relaxing is the key.
Some of you know my husband died a couple of months ago on June 28th. And the tremendous regrets, things I wish I had done, and things I wish I had said, or ways I wish I had responded.
Yeah.
And what I have done is I have drawn from the book Voices of Our Ancestors by Tiana Uwahu, Cherokee wisdom teachings. And I've adapted a practice she has there of when you go to bed, and Wolf and I used to do this occasionally, but the Aquarians that we both wear, it was like we were never consistent. But it's a very powerful practice. And before you go to bed, you review your day and you go, I did that and I said that. That was good. That's going to continue. Oh, I did that. That was not a good choice. So then you relive it. You go back to that situation in your imagination and you relive it and you make a different choice. And thus you change the patterns in your body and in your consciousness. And it affects you down the next day and the day after that and the day after that. Well, I've adapted that to the regrets that I have felt. And they come up and I'm pretty much worked through them. I would say that, my tears came because I'm just talking about my, Wolf gone. But and so a regret comes up, I feel it, and then I relive it. And I say, Wolf, this is what I would have done. This is what I wish I had done. I'm doing it now. And you relive that moment, you relive that, and you give the response that you would have said, the better choice. Right. And then you do the forgiveness portion that they also have, which is you take a bowl of water or an imaginary body of water, whatever it is. You can do it at the sink or just in imagination. You throw the water over your back 7 times, forgiving yourself. Forgiveness, self-forgiveness. You throw it in the past. What could have been, should have been, could have been, might have been is over. And you forgive yourself. And I've done that over and over and over now for how many weeks it's been. And it's very effective. And the sting is gone from those things I didn't do. And I am repatterning myself. And I'm repatterning his and my relationship into the past, right, into the present, and into the future. Right. And so that's the compassion I have been practicing for myself. Blessed.
Oh, thank you for sharing that. Thank you for sharing that. We see there are other women raising their hands, but let's share more of that in the chat at the end of services, our social chat. So our intention together is allowing the deep and fierce compassion of Quan Yin for all, including ourselves, to glow within us. To glow within us. So we call upon Priestess Mata to gently and briefly ask permission of the ancestresses of all the different lands of the women who are here to give us a blessing if they are willing, and to ask permission for us to hold this sacred circle.
Ancestresses, we gather here, many of us across the lands, many places, many peoples, many lineages, as we take our attention to the earth, to the land that we stand upon. We ask permission of the ancestresses of this land, those who walked this in these stones and paths and the dirt and the grass, those who breathed the air that we are breathing, those who felt the sun on their face and the wind in their hair, and those who smelled the green grasses and heard the birds singing. We ask permission of you to carry this ceremony and rite out, and we feel it is given. Blessed be.
Blessed be. Powers of the north, south, east, and west, air, fire, water, and earth, you surround us. We do not call you in, for you are already here in our bodies. We are so grateful for your presence, and we increase our awareness of your presence in our consciousness now. You are here, you are here, you are here. Hail and welcome.
Hail and welcome. Guides and guardians, those who have been with us since the beginning of time, those who walk with us and keep us, protect us, guide us, guard us, those who live with us and breathe with us. We ask that you be with us, all of you, and we feel your presence. You are here, you are here, you are here. Hail and welcome.
Hail and welcome. And staying in this sacred space, this feeling, soft and gentle, we ask Priestess Yeshe to speak the name of Quan Yin in whatever way she wishes, to bring awareness to us of the presence of Quan Yin always in our experience.
Quan Yin, I light this candle as a symbol of the enlightening Dharma way. May it shine brightly for the benefit of all beings. And I light this incense as an offering for Guan Shi Yin, she who hears the cries of the world, mother of all. Asking you, Guan Yin, to join us, to illuminate us, to comfort us, to give us refuge today and every day as we walk on this earth, bringing heaven wherever we go.
Oh, yes. Heaven wherever we go. Oh, yes. Yeah. So this is our beautiful altar for Quan Yin. We have some beautiful things on this altar. We have these beautiful roses that Sarah brought. We have bottles of wine, always appropriate at the autumn time. We have this beautiful Quan Yin that was actually given to us by a gentleman, Terry White. When he came to our museum, he said, "Oh, this is in a dark corner of my house and she belongs here." And he brought her the next day and donated her to us. And she's so gorgeous. And she's sitting in the queen posture. The queen, when you have your knee up like that, and when you're sitting one knee down on the ground and one knee up, and then your arm, that is called the queen's posture. And we have grapes, which we will be kicking off later and enjoying, and we don't need those. We have some beautiful, oh, sorry, Joe. We have some beautiful Kuan Yin goddess cards brought by Sarah, and pearls and the lotus. And if someone will win this lovely orchid, someone will go home with this fabulous orchid. We also have the water for Priestess Yeshe's water blessing with a rose quartz. The next season's goddess. We're in the time of the queen. She is the queen and aspecting the queen. And this represents the wise woman, the old woman with her seeds. It's gone to seed, and now she's going to spread them, and they'll sit in the ground. And so we put her behind because this is not quite her time of the season yet, but she's coming. She's coming. So we're aware of that. We think about that. Oh, and this might be a gift for Dr. Mailuna that I will be presenting. So grateful to have you back, Dr. Mailuna. Blessed be. So if you have an offering to make, some women have already made their offerings of wine and flowers. But if you have a sacred you'd like to charge, or if you have an offering that you would like to make, not money, this is like, something beautiful, a stone or a flower or something, then place it on the altar. And then if you have a sacred that you want to charge, I am going to place on the altar this beautiful rose quartz bracelet that Andrea gave me some time ago. And so I'm going to place this on the altar and ask Kuan Yin to bless it. We are in sacred space. Blessed be. I would like to thank the priestesses who have served this temple so long and well. And Priestess Mata, thank you, thank you. And Priestess Marcia, who you know is on sabbatical for a while, missing her already. But I thank the priestesses who have stepped up. Sarah and Petra, thank you for being here early and helping get us ready. We have a great appreciation for Queen Donna. She has been such a good, faithful and loyal attender of services. I'm surprised that she's not here today. We'll have to check in on her later, make sure that she's okay. But she has done marvelous things for us and been very generous. We also want to thank Priestess Sandy Limina, who continues to hold the vision for our next space, which we're working on. Thank you, Sandy. And also Anna. And you heard Anna speak a few minutes ago about compassion. And here she is with her dog, Helen, who my dog, Joey, just loves Helen. And Anna has been extremely generous in many ways in giving to this museum and temple. And we are so grateful to you, Anna. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So let us talk a bit about the goddess Kuan Yin, venerated for thousands of years the world over. And she, of course, is an Asian goddess, the embodiment of compassion, the very embodiment of compassion. Short for Guanxian, she who hears the cries of the world. Or some people translate it, she who perceives the sounds of the world. Her veneration, of course, has spread worldwide, millions and millions. There are countless large temples to her the world over, with giant Kuan Yin statues, just massive, imposing, beautiful, exquisite. This is just one. There are many that have statues this large. You can just feel, if you were approaching that on the walkway, how you would feel her just looking down with love and compassion onto you. Think about how that would be if we had things like that in this country everywhere. If you went to Fashion Island and the entrance had something like this, if you went to the Fun Zone in Newport Beach And there was this giant goddess statue looking down. Think how it would change our entire way of being. You know, she's often depicted riding a dragon. And if their adherents departs from this world, they are placed by Kuan Yin in the heart of a lotus and then sent to the Western Pure Land of Sukhavati, the Western Pure Land. The celebration of Kuan Yin's supposed attainment of Buddhahood is on the 19th day of the 6th lunar month. And I'm not sure I completely hold with this. I believe Kuan Yin, in the essence of her as goddess, did not attain anything. She already was, always, and eternal. This idea of attainment is, in my view, and perhaps Yeshe will speak to this later because she knows a great deal more about Kuan Yin than I do, but this idea of attainment seems very male to me, like we have to go get something. No, we already are it. We just have to be aware of it. And she is often referred to as the most widely beloved Buddhist divinity with miraculous powers to assist all those who pray to her. And if you remember, at our beautiful museum, she had one entire room devoted to her veneration at the Museum of Woman. So many of us walked into this room every week for 18 years. That's how long we were there, 18 years. We walked into this room. And I wonder now if some of us, myself included, kind of took it for granted. And now that it has been completely broken down, you know, the Buddhists say everything arises and then subsides. Well, she arose for 18 years in this form, and then she subsided very quickly because of when we closed the museum due to COVID. We had to close in 3 weeks. And so this, what you are seeing here, is no more. The elements of it, parts of them still exist and they're in storage, but there will never be another room like this, ever. When we have our new museum, we will make a new space. We will not make it exactly like this. Let's just be aware, I'm speaking to myself mostly, be aware of how things subside and just take them seriously and be appreciative. Don't take them for granted. Just thank the goddess every day for the beauty that you have, that is yours to enjoy. All hail Kuan Yin, compassionate aspect of the one great mother of all. And we ask ourselves to call upon the power of Kuan Yin when you need compassion, particularly for yourself. Please give us some of your wisdom on Kuan Yin.
Well, if some of you recall that in the temple, when we were in the temple, the priestesses would create holy waters with different aspects, different goddesses and different aspects and their aspects. So we would, in the ancient way, the priestesses would gather, and many of the members, I think Elle Dubois, Patricia, there are many, of course, Marsha Lang, and many of you who are here, I believe that you did participate in at least one of the holy water chanting and praying. We would chant and pray in the ancient way 100 times, imbuing each different holy water with the aspects of a particular goddess, and we would do one at a time. And it was one of the most powerful and rewarding experiences that I've had as a priestess ever, and I think many of you could say who were part of that as well. And we do, as Dr. Emoto says, the water does have vibrations and takes on that which you speak into it, that which you breathe into it, your emotions, and it changes the waters. So having said that, when we, I just had to share this, when we prayed over the Kuan Yin waters, it was almost instantly I just had this, I saw Kuan Yin 2 stories high at least walk into the room or come into the room, you know, through walls, of course, right? But there she was, this huge presence, and she came in, and it was, I believe that I recall that all of us felt this particular huge compassion, love, energy that walked in and filled the room and filled us, that it was, you just, spine tingling, goosebumps, you know, enlarging every part of who all of us were, that were in, and in the temple as well, but all of us who were there praying. And I just wanted to share that, man, she was on the spot. She came, she walked in, she was there, and she was huge, huge. I've never seen, I mean, it was all a very particular experience. So, so if anyone has any of that Kuan Yin water left, use
2
it.
stories high. 2 stories high. I love that. 2 stories high. Incredible. Incredible. We acknowledge your fantastic memories, Mata, your fantastic memories for so many years. Well, let us formally introduce our guest speaker, Priestess Yeshe Matthews, longtime member of the Goddess Temple. And she's led us in so many wonderful ceremonies. This is one of my favorite pictures of us working together. And Yeshe will maybe remember how we created something fantastic, mixed it all up like a couple of good witches. It was just amazing to work with her on that day and every other day. I have so many beautiful photos of her. And remember, she goes way back with us. She has taught many classes and many Sunday services. And look how far back she goes. If you notice, this is before we got our Grand Sekhmet. This is when we had Eve on the altar. That goes way, way back, way back. So she is absolutely one of my favorite wise women, teaching very many diverse classes in priestessing and personal spiritual practice. She is of the Mount Shasta Goddess Temple, which offers divinations and ceremonies and classes and retreats and other services in cooperation with the store that she founded, the Sacred Well. That is her store, the Sacred Well. People have been going to for many, many years, and that's been a wonderful offering to the Oakland community. There was a beautiful store I visited a few times. You just walk in and the energy was so pristine and perfect. She has a BA in English from State University College, an MA in Women's History from Sarah Lawrence, and she was ordained as a priestess in 2007. I believe this might be her teaching at the Glastonbury Goddess Conference.
Yes, that's right. This one is from Glastonbury a couple years ago.
Because of Yeshe, we went to these marvelous places that I might not have seen otherwise. She did some incredible research, and we were able to go to some fantastic places. So I'll always treasure that visit with her. And she does do pilgrimages. You can go places with her on rare occasions. I don't think she'll tell us about it later on. I don't know if she has anything planned specifically during this time of COVID, but maybe she'll share with us a little bit. She is my great personal friend who I just love dearly, whose group chanting, and I always tell this story, I'm sure she's sick of hearing about it, but whose group chanting on the beach absolutely saved my dying cat, he who would live to become the evil genius, Debbie. I know many people regret that Yeshe's group saved him, but I am grateful because he's the love of my life, even though he's just a creep to everybody else. So Yeshe has a regular online chant and experience of Kuan Yin, and I always forward it to my list of people because it's always so beautiful, so beautiful. So she is the perfect priestess to share wisdom about Quan Yin, please welcome Priestess Yeshe Matthews. Thank you, Yeshe, for being with us. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Oh, thank you so much for this wonderful welcome, Ava. I'm so happy to be here. I feel like, you know, it's been this whole time of COVID has been really difficult for many of us who need the womb space. We need that attunement to one another in physical space, and our oxytocin and serotonin are greatly improved when we can be together physically as women. And without that connection, there are many of us off in our little citadels, protected and safe, but very, very lonesome for each other. And being held in the brilliant and beautiful container of your temple once again in this etheric form is such a balm to my soul, is so good for my heart. I'd like to share shortly, just a short little compassion that I'm having for myself right now. I'm 47 years old, and my change of life is on me now. It is moving through me with ferocity, and all of my tools that I've accumulated for my spiritual practice up until this point are sorely tested by the tidal wave of hormonal change. I find myself having more irritability, more impatience. I've never before thought that the world was full of stupid people, and now I do. I've never before felt like ashamed of my ample body, and now I have insecurities. There's so many things about this change of life, and I just would like to give some gratitude, because the women of this temple, as you, many of you, were going through your changes of life, have provided me with an example of such brilliant, elegant realness, humor, affection, and tenderness for yourselves as I observed you going through those changes, so that now as I'm going through those changes, I'm sitting in circle with you and remembering many good laughs about hot flashes and power surges, and many moments of women having to come together after someone had erupted in tears or an argument or something like that. And this is an amazing teaching. And it's the kind of teaching that can only be given in a sacred female space.
Right.
I do not encounter this wisdom anywhere else in our world. And so I wanted to make sure to acknowledge this as part of compassion for myself in my menopausal years, and gratitude for this circle of brilliant, ferocious women who showed me that I will be able to make it through this.
Yes, yes.
Thank you. So I'm going to talk a little bit today about my own journey with Quan Yin, and how I've come to the point that I'm at, where actually I'll be publishing a book in the spring through Girl God Books it's an anthology of Quan Yin. And should anyone attending this circle wish to contribute something for the anthology, I'm still accepting contributions. I have a particular relationship with Quan Yin that goes back further than almost any other goddess in my life, other than the Blessed Virgin Mary. The Blessed Virgin Mary was there from my time of birth, but Quan Yin came along when I was maybe around the age of 4 years old. Quan Yin as a focal point of Buddhist meditation was important to my mother and to my family, because we were Catholic, but my mother had a great interest in all different world religions. And so she also decided that we would be Buddhist. And so we meditated every day, and we chanted, and we learned to do all kinds of different Buddhist rituals when I was very small. So Guan Yin has been with me for my pretty much my whole life, all of the life that I can remember. Now, where things are in my own life is that I tend a shrine to Guan Yin. It's open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to anyone who wishes to come. The shrine is a large shrine behind the building where I house my store, and the shrine features a 7-foot tall carved marble statue of Guan Yin that was donated in 2018. But this statue, or maybe, yeah, 2018, or no, maybe 2019. But this statue came to me after a huge practice that started in 2016. And that came after an awakening that happened in 2015. When I moved to this area, Dunsmuir, in 2015, it was after feeling a period of real burnout. I was exhausted, I was depleted, I felt taken advantage of and taken for granted, and I felt unfairly treated by the world. It was a rough time, and I knew that I needed to get out of the city. I knew I needed to move somewhere where there was natural water and forest, and where I would be able to have relative quietude. So my husband and I came up and we visited Dunsmuir, California, which is a little town at the base of Mount Shasta. And there's a waterfall here in Dunsmuir called Hedge Creek Falls. And Hedge Creek Falls had a very rustic path. The path has now been changed, but we'll get to that. It had a very rustic path leading down to the waterfall. And on the way down to the waterfall, there was a large stone that sat in the middle of the path. And when I looked at that stone in the path, I could see raised within the stone the outline of Guan Yin in the same pose as the statue that's on your altar, what's known as the royal ease pose, with the arm draped over the knee up, the other leg extended, in a state of relaxation. And the vision was so vivid, I said to my husband, we need to move walking distance from this waterfall, and I need to be able to come and chant near this water, because this water runs out into the Sacramento River, which runs all the way down through the state of California, nourishing the farmlands and the many different cities along its way until it finally makes its way to the sea. And in the Tibetan Buddhist tradition, you chant at a body of water such as this so that your prayers will go out to the whole world, ultimately reaching the ocean. So my husband said, well, okay, I've always wanted to run away to the forest and become a wizard. Let's go. So we started to find, we looked around and we found our place to live, which is the house that we live in now. And I started in 2016 to do a daily chanting practice. My aspiration was to accomplish 100,000 recitations of both of Guan Yin's main mantras, Namo Guan Shi Pusa and Om Mani Padme Hum. So when I began that practice, I started to videotape it. I would put it on Facebook and I would share it with the world. And it took me from 2016, August of 2016 until September of 2020 to accomplish the 100,000 recitations. And along the way, accomplishing this mantra practice, I experienced the literal destruction of everything that I had thought was real in my life, with very few exceptions. Some friendships, my relationship with my husband, my excellent relationship with my mother, and very few, and my beliefs. But in every other way, my life came apart. And this practice of my life coming apart was the practice. The chanting was the vehicle that initiated this destruction. And I say that because I think that sometimes we think of destruction as being bad or negative, but destruction is actually compassionate when the foundation of the building is weak. And pointing out all of the weaknesses in my foundation so that I could become a stronger person was the gift of compassion that Quan Yin gave me during this practice. So fast forward to 2019, when I was about 25,000 mantras away from finishing. One day I woke up and my phone was on fire. Everybody was texting me and calling me because they had seen a post that said someone had a free statue of Guan Yin, carved marble statue, and that anyone who wanted it could apply to get it. So I sent a letter to the people who had the statue and told them about myself, told them about the Mount Shasta Goddess Temple and about my project. And they said, oh, you definitely need this statue. And I had to go about a couple of weeks of figuring out how to get a statue that weighed this much from Sunol, California to Dunsmuir, which is about a 5 to 6 hour drive in a truck. And it meant that I needed a special truck with a lift. I needed men to carry it. I needed, to find the right place to position it. But it all came together in the end when I asked for donations. I needed $1,245 to rent the truck. And I asked one time on Facebook, and within 24 hours, I had all of the money to rent the truck and pay the workmen. And then another friend paid for the workmen. And then another friend covered the insurance. And it all came together so that in mid-October 2019, Guan Yin arrived at the Mount Shasta Goddess Temple and was instantiated. And at first, all we had at first was a simple slab of concrete in an alleyway that was full of garbage. There were hypodermic needles and broken beer bottles. There was an old freezer chest. There was an old soda machine. It was 4 truckloads to take that garbage to the dump. And so I took all of that garbage to the dump in 4 truckloads. And the next day when I got to the place, someone had come in the night and brought 2 more truckloads of garbage because they could see that we were getting rid of garbage. So they brought all their garbage. So 2 more truckloads. So all in all, 6 truckloads of garbage went to the dump. We had to clean up a lot of unsavory effluvia. And when all was said and done, we mounted the statue on the concrete slab and we did our best to cover some of the graffiti, which is still an ongoing process. And we just had to kind of begin and work slowly. But what was interesting is that in gratitude for the arrival of the statue in Dunsmuir, I went back to Hedge Creek Falls to go chant at the stone where I had originally seen that vision of Guan Yin arise. And when I saw what had happened, they had torn the path up. They had removed all the stones. They were changing the entire configuration of the landscape. And they actually took that stone away the same week that the statue arrived. And I could see that Guan Yin had revealed herself to me in this very rustic form so that I would aspire to build her a space. And that once that larger statue articulated beautifully, carved by hand, arrived in the space, I could see, oh, she's evolving. She's not only evolving me, she's evolving the temple. She's evolving the entire landscape. And over the last 2 years, we've installed a prayer wheel now. We've planted 7 rose bushes. We've filled in all of the holes with stone, and we've laid a soft mulch so that it's easy on the feet. People can walk down there at any time, day or night. I regularly have to go and explain to people that while they can sleep there for maybe one night, they can't move in. I have to protect the space from people who will leave drug paraphernalia and other things.
Wow.
I've had to install lights and cameras. Tending a 24-hour-a-day, 7-day-a-week public shrine has given me a whole new level of compassion.
Wow. Wow. That's amazing. That's amazing.
So on September 11th of 2020, unplanned, this was not scheduled this way, it wasn't planned at all, but on September 11th of 2020, amidst the pandemic, when it was really heading into some of its darkest days, I finished my 100,000 recitations.
Oh, yes. Yes.
And I thought that would be the end of that practice. And instead, I had dozens of people who had watched me over the years contact me within the next week and say, we don't know how we're going to get through the rest of this pandemic without this practice. What are you doing? And so November 2nd of 2020, my temple and I began a new aspirational practice. And this time we're going for 1 million.
Oh, yes.
And I'm happy to report that as of this week, we've already accomplished 380,000 of our 1 million recitations.
Amazing. Almost halfway there. Wow.
Yes, yeah, because it's not only me, you know, now there's about 20 different people who contribute to this chanting practice, and I do it every single day, and there are a few other handful of women who do it every single day, but the majority kind of dip in and dip out as they can. We've got mothers of young children and elders and people who have working busy lives, but everybody is contributing in her own way. And it's become something that's gone so far beyond what I ever dreamed it would be. It has broken me apart and put me back together. It has carried me through some of our collectively darkest days. It has helped me see the value. I'll tell you one last thing, and then we're going to do our activity with our bowl of water. There was one day I went down to the shrine, and there was garbage scattered all around. It was empty cans of food and hypodermic needles. There was papers. There was a cell phone that had a cracked screen. There was clothing. And I could see that from just looking at the items. Normally, if there's a lot of trash, I just throw it away. But when I looked at the items, I realized that this was somebody who had gotten out of drug rehabilitation, and this was all of their worldly possessions, because there was a prescription for Narcan, and there was a prescription for other things that would help with dimming down the effects of withdrawal. And there was a name on the paperwork. So I gathered, using gloves, all of the items and put them into one bag. And then I started a little hunt to find who this person was. And through a few weeks, it took a few weeks, but I tracked down a friend of his, and then his mother. And then his mother finally put me in touch with him. And I got into touch with him, and I told him I had his items. And he shared that he had been sleeping in the train station. And one day we met up, and I gave him back all of his worldly goods. And he was just a young man who had so much promise and potential, a handsome face, fit, you know, strong. And you could really see that he was battling his demons. And this is just one emblematic moment of what it has meant to tend this shrine, of how to have compassion across these seeming divides, where I just looked into his eyes and I handed him his bag of things and I said, best of luck to you. And he said, thank you so much for keeping this. And I'm so glad that I have it all back, and I'm going to get on track. And I thought, okay, you know, and that was all it was. I didn't need to do anything more. He didn't need to do anything more. There was zero codependent kind of entrainment there where I felt responsible for him, but I felt compassion. And that's something that I think is really important for us as women, is that we're enculturated by patriarchy to think that compassion is a codependent entrainment, but it is not. Compassion is to meet someone where they are and to learn to give them love where they are, but not to feel that we have to save anyone. Everyone has to find their own way. If anyone had told me in 2015 what my journey would look like from there, I would not have signed up for it. But looking back on my journey now, I see the perfection of it completely. And it's my hope for that young man and for all of us that whatever it is that we might have wanted to avoid or wished someone could save us from, that ultimately what we see is that it was all perfect upon reflection. And Vajra's contributions about that practice she's been doing to clear regret really speaks to this, because we can't save anyone. We can't even save ourselves, but we can reflect, we can love as best we can in the moment, and better when we know better. And we can heal and we can forgive. There's no teaching I could have read in a book that would have shown me what this experience has shown me. And the experience of this kind of embodied compassion is something that is now so part of my body that it won't leave me. Not the way something I might only intellectually apprehend could flee my mind with time. So now I'd like us to take our bowls of water, and you can hold it in your hand, or you can place it in front of you on the table or on the floor if you wish. And I'm going to lead us in some chanting to Quan Yin. But I'm going to give a brief chanting that is a melody that came to me. And I started to chant this way to Quan Yin when I chant privately. It's not the standard melody that you usually hear in recordings, but it's a melody that's been very meaningful for me. It came to me while I was wandering one day through the Tucson Gem Show and looking at this beautiful table of quartz crystals. And all of a sudden it was like this welling up happened within me of this sound. Later, after I'd been chanting this way for a few months, I heard a recording of a Buddhist monk chanting to Quan Yin, and he was chanting this exact same tune and cadence. So it's a sound that I inherited, a sound that arose within me, and it's our shared sound that we can chant together. And we're going to chant over this water, and then we're going to take this water and pour it out into the yard or onto stones or into a plant, so that we can connect with the earth and bring our compassion to this parched, dry earth so desperately in need of rain. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Ped me home. Om Mani 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 Padme Hum, 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 Om Mani Padme Hum. After this wonderful, wonderful ceremony, we'll take our waters outside, and if you can take them and pour them in your garden, or pour them anywhere that the earth looks dry or parched or cracked, or pour them onto a living plant, or if, like me, you live walking distance from a living body of water, you can take it down and pour it there. And as you pour out this water, pour out that compassion without attachment, that hopefully the earth can be healed, that hopefully we are all going to do our part, and that if we can, we're going to send love in all directions to all beings everywhere, accepting none. Thank you so much for letting me be here and share with you today a little bit of my experiential walk with Quan Yin.
Oh, the women are coming forward, and pouring their water into a small green plant. Thank you, thank you, thank you for leading us in this beauty ceremony. Thank you. Thank you. Deeply, deeply moving, Vajra says, yes. We are all so grateful for you. We are thanking you and expect to receive a gift in the mail soon. Thank you, Priestess Yeshe. Thank you, thank you, thank you. The women would love to talk with you after services. We hope you can stay with us.
Absolutely. I'm not going anywhere. I have my tea. Thank you.
Very good. Let us just gently absorb that beauty. Okay, all right, get your pen and paper ready. The winner of this quiz will receive this beautiful carved obsidian Quan Yin necklace. And I am so sorry to report that Yeshe, Mata, and Ava are not eligible for this quiz. Your first question, sisters. Now, be aware that in the slideshow, every single one of these answers was given. So if you were paying close attention, you would know all these answers. Question 1 is Quan Yin means she who, and then finish that phrase. Question 2 is Quan Yin is the embodiment of, finish that sentence. Question 3, Quan Yin is a goddess originating in A, Africa, B, Europe, C, Asia, and D, Russia. Question 4. Oh, this one's a hard one. Quan Yin's Buddhahood is celebrated on A, the 9th day of the 5th lunar month, the 19th day of the 3rd lunar month, that's B, C, the 19th day of the 6th lunar month, or D, the 1st day of the 9th lunar month. Number 5, and this is the last question, Quan Yin is the most widely loved what deity? Of what philosophy or theology? It's not really a religion, most people think, but philosophy. Quan Yin is the most widely loved what deity? Quan Yin means one of two things, she who hears the cries of the world or perceives the sounds of the world. Either one is good. Question 2, Quan Yin is the embodiment of compassion. We will also accept mercy. So that's either compassion or mercy works. Question 3, Quan Yin is a goddess originating in C, Asia. Quan Yin's Buddhahood is celebrated on, answer C, the 19th day of the 6th lunar month. And 5, Quan Yin is the most widely loved Buddhist deity. Everyone who thinks they have a shot of winning, why don't you total up your numbers that you got right, put it on your paper, and then Sarah will gather it up.
If you didn't answer 5 of them correct, then you're out of the running.
Oh, okay. Did anybody in this circle get 5 out of 5?
I did fierce compassion for number 2. Does that count?
What?
I wrote fierce compassion for number 2.
Oh, that is acceptable. Yeah. That is acceptable.
Number 1.
Who?
Number 1.
Here's the cries of the people. I would accept that. Compassion, mercy. Okay, yeah, put your name on this so we know. Okay, so do we have a 5 for 5 in this circle? Petra. Okay, Petra got 5 for 5. There we go.
Okay, all right.
Let's
And
see your beautiful face, Petra. Yay!
this is a big win here. We've got Anna Dresden,
Oh,
5. We've got Meredith, 5. We have Marsha Lane, 5. And we have
wow.
Tristan, 5. So
how we determine it is, first of all, a member. If it's between 2 people, the member wins. And if there's more than one member who is winning, then it's the longest duration of member.
oh, okay.
So, Petra, I know there are people who have been members longer than you, so I'm so sorry, sister, you're out. So Mata, who do you determine is the winner of the Quan Yin necklace?
And Marsha Lane can't remember. Marsha Lane, you've been
Okay.
around for a long time.
Kismet
Wow.
is,
May I? Oh,
she's not a member, so she's,
Anna?
we love her, but she's out.
Okay.
Marsh.
It's not how old you are, it's how long you've been a member. So I
Okay.
think Marsha might be a member longer than Anna. Could that be true?
Well, Marcia was there when I got there.
Oh,
Okay.
all
I
right.
remember Marcia being there.
I think we have our answer. I believe it is Marsha. Marsha, very good. Okay, Marsha, you get the beautiful carved obsidian necklace, and we shall have that mailed to you today. It will come in the mail. So good for you. We might. So let us make our offering. If you've made it by mail, just bless the offering bowl as it goes around. Riches flow forth from inside me. Oh, great Mother, we bless these offerings. May they multiply infinitely. And we know that we have all we need. It is already done, already done, already done. It is so, it is so, it is so. And so it is. Blessed be. Deeply grateful to all of our members for their support. Breathing into a transition for yourself. I would call upon Vajra. I feel she is the right woman and energy, given what she has been through, given what she is feeling at this moment. I call upon Vajra to lead us in a brief prayer for the women of Afghanistan.
Thank you. A great mother, in your aspects of compassion, and particularly Quan Yin, Mother Mary, Tara, all your many names of compassionate mother, we call upon you to bless the women of Afghanistan. Some of them are protesting, and we know this, and they are courageous, and we ask you to put courage into their hearts. We ask protection around these women. We ask that some miracle of softening of heart of Taliban men melt them, melt their hearts,
Melt their
open
heart.
the pathway for our beloved sisters. We feel them. We feel their fear, their need, their intrinsic holiness. And we affirm this, and we stand with them and encourage us and inspire us, great Mother, to do what we can, each one of us, for their benefit, which is the benefit for all. So be it, blessed be.
Blessed be, blessed be. It is so, it is so, it is so.
It is so.
And so it is. Do we feel that we have fulfilled our intention that we made an hour and a half ago to avail ourselves of the compassion of Quan Yin? Yes. I think so. I think so. We feel our gratitude for being able to come together in a safe place. Let us have that feeling that we are in a safe place with everything we need, food and water and shelter and comfort, the comfort of each other, the sisters. Feel that we have this, and let the overflow of this move out into the world, and let the world experience this overflow of nourishing, thirst quenching gratitude for every blessing. Move forward and out across the land and drop like rain into the hearts of all who need it, so that more might be magnetized unto them. It is so, it is so, it is so. Blessed be. May we call upon Priestess Yeshe to thank Goddess.
We'll dedicate the merit of today's practice. May the merit of this practice and all of our activities be of endless benefit to all beings in all realms, beginningless and continuous. May all obstacles be overcome and suffering cease at the sound of liberation. May all beings be free from suffering and its causes. May all beings have happiness and its causes. May we carry the essence of Quan Yin in our hearts. Namo Quan Yin Pusa.
Ancestresses, those who walk in compassion for us as well. We thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
Blessed be. Guides and guardians, those who have been with us since the beginning of time, we feel your arms of compassion wrapped around us. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Powers of the north, south, east, and west, all around us, air, fire, water, and earth, within us and without us, everywhere. We say thank you for making our physical lives possible in this plane of existence. We are so grateful for the opportunity to experience joy and sisterhood, deliciousness in food and drink and pleasure. This is what saves humanity. Woman's pleasure, woman's joy. It is so, it is so, it is so. Blessed be.
Blessed be.
Allow yourself to dissolve cords that you might have created in the last few minutes. Stand as a sovereign woman, strong and whole unto yourself. Stand in your own power. Yes, yes, yes.
May the circle be open but unbroken. May the peace of the goddess be ever in your heart. Merry meet and merry part, and merry meet again. May the circle be open but unbroken. May the peace of the goddess be ever in your heart. Merry meet and merry part, and merry meet again.
Oh, thank you, sisters. Thank you, Priestess Yeshe. Whoa. Thank you for leading us. Thank you, Dr. Mailuna. We are so looking forward to your book. Amazing, amazing. And thank you, Vajra Ma, for your beauty work with us today. Thank you, everyone. Get something to eat and drink and come back in a minute. We'll have some beautiful music by Anik Radiant Heart for just a minute or two. And go ahead and get yourself a snack or we have some brownies here, and Ava attempted to write "Welcome, Dr. Mailuna" on it. And when you see it, somebody must take a picture of it, because you can certainly tell I am no professional cake decorator. So, but we do have brownies, and we can cut those. Let's come back in a minute for our social chat. Blessed be.
We are the priestesses of old. We are remembering. We are remembering. We are the priestesses of now. We are reclaiming. We are reclaiming. We are the priestesses through time. And we are glorious. Yes, we are glorious. We are the priestesses of she. We are eternal. We are eternal. Through the mists of time, she we call divine has become an ancient memory in the hearts and minds of beings of every kind, are the seeds of what we used to be. It's that silent voice informing every choice that we seek constantly. So I'm dancing feet, resonating to the beat. We follow her gentle call. We are the priestesses of old. We are remembering. We are remembering. We are the priestesses of now. We are reclaiming. We are reclaiming. We are the priestesses through time. And we are glorious. Yes, we are glorious. We are the priestesses of she. We are eternal. We are eternal. In the shadows and the whispers of the twilight, she comes to spark our memories. She is here, yet she is not, and so we seek her, for she's just a breath away. She's the sister that we've always known existed in the dusty hallways of our minds. Yet her passion fills our hearts with an ancient yearning for our long forgotten past. We are the priestesses of old. We are remembering. We are remembering. We are the priestesses of now. We are reclaiming. We are reclaiming. We are the priestesses through time. are glorious. We are the priestesses of she. We are eternal. We are eternal.
Ah, that was the voice of Anique Radiant Heart. We're so grateful for her many, many songs. Everybody can unmute themselves. We're all back in circle.